afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime series with Kevin Britz, proudly powered by leadershipbydesign.co, where we aim to add value to people's lives. You can listen to us live every Wednesday and Thursday at lunchtime on ebizradio.com and catch us on all your major podcast channels today. If you are listening to this, I'd like to challenge you to add more value to people's lives today. We certainly need more people in the world to add value and to be kinder to one another. But with that in mind, we have a very interesting guest joining me. He's someone who's been in my world for about 17, 18, well, almost 20 years. And we haven't actually had we've never actually had him on the show before. But he comes with years of experience in the entertainment industry, and I thought, why not just share who he is and what he's about, and the story of Mr. Shaky Russell. He's the owner and founder of Team Shaky and Razzle events at least. Mr. Shaky Russell, thank you for joining us on the Lunchtime series.
Wow, thank you very much, Kevin, and a very good afternoon to all the listeners. I feel so honored. And wow, thank you so much for that marvelous introduction. I think we go way back. It's a little longer than 18 years, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, Shaky, I've known you. I started singing at the barnyard, and your sort of famous rendition of Elvis tributes that you do. I joined the team of that probably about 18 years ago. And it was one of the first shows that I remember you trying to get me to do choreography. And I'm like, still to this day, like, choreography is the worst thing for me to do. So I just like, please don't ask me to, like, I'll sing my ass off, but I can't do choreography. But I mean, I've learned to do a bit of bebopping, and but I mean, Shake, before we get into it, just tell us give us a bit of history. I mean, like, you've been doing this for donkey's years. You know how to you know how everything from production to putting a show together to producing shows. Tell us a bit about a history about Shaky Russell and where this all started and like where we are today.
Well, yeah. So Kevin, in essence, the passion for music and entertainment started at the tender age of 5. I come from a very, very musical family as such. My grandmother, being Irish, was one of my biggest influences. And she played the banjo and piano and numerous instruments, and then passed that gift over to my dad, which then, passed it over to my late eldest brother. And as one would say, the rest is history. Kevin, I grew up in a home that was all about music, shows, and entertainment. My late brother was rather popular in the so-called South African entertainment industry, performing with numerous household names that's still going very strong, the likes of Steve Hofmeyer, Tommy Dell, etc., etc. And I was only about 5-6 years old, and I was the little brother that basically stood in the wings of and in the side folds of various professional stages, just wanting to be the next superstar. And that's basically where the love for music and entertainment began.
Yeah, I mean, like that, and that's the story I know about you. Is that this has been a kind of a lifelong dream kind of thing. Like, you wanted to be on stage, you wanted to sing, and Elvis just happened to be one of those icons that sort of resonated with you, and that's where you sort of found a huge career. Actually, I mean, and you've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, strangely, Kevin, obviously, after matriculating, I studied marketing, media, etc. And I must admit, I never performed professionally at that time. And it was only when I sadly, faced a tragic in my life. I sadly lost my dad and both my brothers. Suddenly when I realized that life is rather short, and this is just my take on life. you got to do what you love. You obviously got to be a little wise, in the choices you make. And that's when I started auditioning for numerous production houses. I started, attending various theatrical workshops, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where I landed the role in a production called Elvis One Nights, which was a Sun International production. We ran at various casinos, and one of the biggest casinos being Carnival City, where the show ran to at the so-called Big Top. Yeah, I think it's called the Big Top Arena. Yeah, the Big Top Arena, 5,000 people a night, and as one would say, the rest is rock and roll. And from there it was just uphill, and again, just having the passion to live my life. To be very honest with you, Kevin, everything just kind of fell into place as such.
Yeah.
And I do believe that comes with the blessings of the higher power. And look, I mean, there were lots of ups and downs, and at that time, being casted by a local South African theatrical company that's still going extremely strong in the South African entertainment circuit was quite an honor for me.
Yeah. But I mean, Shakes, the point of this conversation today is to, we obviously the show's about leadership, about, showing people out there and adding to people's lives that, in the face of adversity, you speak about the unfortunate losing of your family like you have, but part of that honoring their name and doing more and doing better and keeping that essence of music alive in your family is such a beautiful takeaway from something that happens that's could have been so tormenting, and obviously was at the time as well. And I know it's still close to your heart, and it still drives you. But one of the things, if you look at COVID, if you look at the stuff that the entertainment industry has gone through, I mean, how have you managed to stay so relevant and still manage to, put productions together and make things happen? It's because that takes a certain kind of someone. It's being in the industry. I know how hard it is to keep your head afloat, especially in the entertainment. So I mean, what is your success accredited to?
Kevin, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I might just come across to all the listeners being extremely cheesy. And before I answer this question, please, this is with absolute no offense to anybody if we're not basically on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
But I must admit that belief, I'm very spiritually driven, and I still at times sit back and watch some of the productions that I conceptualize or put together and pinch myself, because very often I just find myself living this dream. And yes, it comes with a lot of passion. You gotta love what you do. You gotta love. You really have to love being in the entertainment industry, because believe you me, it's not easy. It's not easy. There are a lot of backbiters. There are a lot of backstabbers as such. Obviously, living in such a diverse country, there are a lot of competitors as well. And, again, I just feel that it's passion and belief that has taken me this far. You touched on a very touchy subject, COVID. So, I must admit, apart from the trauma that I dealt with losing my dad and both my brothers, COVID was one of them. But again, Kevin, that lasted for 6 months with me only. And for some odd reason, I just decided to evolve. We basically put together a couple of home studios. And I think being in the industry for so many years, we've just built up such an amazing database as such, and an audience, diverse audience, which then allowed me to perform from the comfort of my home. And these were not your standard live streams. What I then did was I basically put together various home-based productions with an angle, and I basically just sold them through various ticketing companies. Example, your Quicket, CompuTicket as such. And again, Kevin, I was just really, really fortunate, and I basically just give thanks to the Lord above.
I'm so, I'm glad that you bring spirituality into this, because I think we're slowly but surely arriving as a human species and recognizing the importance of spirituality and understanding how you as an individual are connected to that. And that what that offers us as business owners, and what that offers us as leaders. And like it's something we teach in. I work with corporates currently, and spiritual intelligence is something that we touch on, right? And like, do we understand what our purpose is, and do we understand why we're doing what we're doing, and what is the point to start off with, right? And really investigating and self-reflecting. So I love that you bring spirituality in. But the other thing that I think is so significant about hearing what you say is the evolution, is like adapting to the times, and you kind of going, okay, well, I have to come up with a different way of even in COVID, adapting and evolving and coming up with different products and ideas. And I think, that speaks to true leadership, where we actually, that's what's required of the world today. We're living in a world where there's crime and wars happening, and that's purely going to affect us in the long run. But our ability to change, and our ability to tap into how do we evolve quick enough to stay ahead of the curve the whole time. And I think that speaks to, do you think that speaks to the success of what you've achieved?
Most definitely, Kevin. As an entertainer, and being 41 years young, I would think, I've been doing this professionally for the last 21 odd years, with lots of ups and downs. And believe you me, I've dealt with obstacles. I've dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with hidden depression. I've been through ups and downs. And Kevin, again, with absolute no reflection to any individual that had needed more professional treatment, I must admit, spirituality, prayer, and belief is what's literally taken me out of the dumps more than 5 or 6 times in the last 21 years of my so-called career.
Yeah.
And it's just a proven fact, and it works for me, that if I pray and I believe sincerely, I just feel that that's really what works for me. And another factor that a point I'd like to make is karma.
Yeah.
There's a popular saying, do good unto those, and good will come to you.
Yeah.
And that's, again, that's just the attitude that I have adapted. Strangely, a very funny thing happened strangely yesterday, where I basically came face to face with one of my biggest so-called competitors in the entertainment industry. And this was a gentleman that never spoke to me for over 20 odd years. And he happened to walk right next to me, and I turned around and I said, well, good afternoon, sir. Are you well? I smiled at him. I wished him well, because I believe there's a piece of pie for everybody out there. There's a piece of bread for everybody out there. And that's just me, Kevin. And it works for me. And if I could honestly give anybody some sort of positive advice, believe, basically be a good human, and good will come out. Basically, good will bless your life, essentially.
So I mean, before we get to the charity, because we want to share the charity event that's happening this Friday, and before we get to that, like
Yes.
if you're going to attribute anything to, because I mean you've done a lot of, from a perspective of leading a crew, leading a production, and leading the stage. What do you think, if you could think of some of those leadership? I mean, spirituality is definitely one of them that you tap into. What
Yes.
other, if you could give us four more attributes of what a great leader really should tap into when leading? I mean, you speak of spirituality, you speak of karma. I think those two already, like speak to the attributes. But like, what else do you think leaders, especially those who are in the entertainment industry, need for them to succeed?
Well, I think it's very important for a leader to be very hands-on in any project you're taking on, because I find very often you get certain leaders that basically delegate and expect amazing results, whereby they just sit back, relax, and they basically not on top of their own projects as such.
Yeah.
So I think what's really, really, really essential is that if you're a leader and if you want to be a leader and you're leading a team behind you, you've got to set the example. You've got to make sure that you're basically the leader effectively. I mean, that's number one. And number two, Kevin, it's extremely vital to be a team player. It's extremely important to be diplomatic in the way you treat your team members. There's always this perception of leaders being the so-called bosses, or being having that attitude. Well, I pay your salary, and I sit a little higher than you. And Kevin, I'm sure you can stand for this, that I'm very much a part of our crew and our cast, and I think having a diplomatic approach to anything basically opens the road for you, for one and all, as such.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, yeah. So I love that, Shakes. Lead by example. Get that spirituality to the fore. Understand what karma is. Do good, and good will come to you. And just lead with the team and be hands on. I think that's a very good approach to finding that success. So I mean,
Yeah.
we are here to celebrate that, because I mean I'm part of this show happening on Friday. Shake, rattle,
yes.
and roll. It's an awesome tribute to Elvis and the best of yesteryear. Experience a phenomenal cast on stage that will have you mesmerized and screaming for more, and showcasing obviously Elvis and people like Marilyn Monroe. And so tell us a little bit about what's happening on Friday. I mean, it is for a good cause. It's going to a charity, and it's for a charity. Tell us about Friday.
All right. So, to all the listeners out there, Kevin, as you're well aware, Shaky Russell doesn't perform as often as he'd like to, because I'm just so involved in various other tribute shows and productions. And for me to get back on stage, I love to do it for a cause. So, firstly, we're going to be rocking and rolling at the ever-popular Emperor's Palace. The show takes place on the 3rd of November at 8 p.m. That is this Friday evening. There is a certain percentage of proceeds that goes towards the Yahara Charity Foundation, which is based in the east of Johannesburg. They are not your typical charitable organization. They basically focus on numerous projects, whether it be abused women, the educational side of things. They also support various cancer foundations. So in essence, they are a humanitarian foundation that is totally reliant on raising funds, a registered NPO. So, in the past, we've had various organizations such as Project O, Wings of Hope, and this year, my partners did a little bit of research, and we've decided to make Yahara Charity one of our main beneficiaries for this Friday evening. Now, what listeners can look forward to is a marvelous tribute production. I'd like to invite everybody, bring your grandmother, bring your kids, bring your grandkids. The show is called Shake, Rattle, and Roll, which is an awesome tribute to the late, great Elvis Presley and friends. And it basically stars an amazing star-studded cast. I mean, our main lineup features the man with the golden voice himself, Kevin Britz. So Kevin will be one of our main male vocalists, accompanied by Leila Sonmez and an amazing rocking band. So we've got a live cast. It's all about having a good time. We've got state-of-the-art sound, tech, AV. To all our listeners, we just like to invite you, come and support the entertainment industry. Come and have a good time. It's something different. It's something phenomenal. But most importantly, I guarantee you a night of amazing, spectacular entertainment.
Fantastic. Shake, so, guys, if you want to go and check it out, you can go to Quicket and quicket.co.za. There are tickets available there, and it's Empress Palace. And the Red Roman venue. So go and book it now, go and check it out now. And it's happening this Friday on the 3rd of November and at Emperor's Palace. But Shakes, if we want to get hold of you, if we want to book you, where do we go? If we want you to come do some stuff for us, what's the easiest way to get hold of you?
I think the easiest way is you could either visit my website, which would be shakyrussell.co.za. Alternatively, nowadays we're so blessed with social media. So on Facebook, Team Shaky, so that spells SHAKY, or on Instagram, Shaky Russell on Instagram. You're more than welcome to drop us an inbox, or alternatively, just visit www.shakyrussell.co.za. And I'd be more than happy to assist anybody that's looking for phenomenal entertainment.
Fantastic. And guys, Shaky, thank you so much for joining me on the show, and thanks for making the time to chat. I'm so glad we could have you. And guys, that's the owner and founder of Team Shaky and Razzle Events, Shaky Russell. Thanks, Shaky. I will see you on Friday.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Once again, to all the listeners, we're really looking forward to seeing you all there. Please do not miss Shake, Rattle, and Roll this Friday evening at Emperor's Palace. 8 p.m. It's at the Red Roman venue. And just a quick one. If you'd like to book, I think we've got about 80 seats that's left. So book now to avoid disappointments. Visit www.quicket.co.za. Your reference, Shake, Rattle, and Roll.
Fantastic. Shakes, have a great one, and I'll chat to you soon.